Hi, everyone. This is Sandy from eXp Realty. I'm your Hawaii real estate agent. I'm here with 𝗦𝗢𝗧𝗦𝗧𝗧 Rudolph of PRMG. This is a mortgage company here in Hawaii. Hi, 𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗧.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me, Sandy. So nice to be here.
Yeah, of course. So you have another great program out there today for veterans, I hear, right?
Yes, we do. It's the VA renovation loan. We're actually launching this product in 2 days. So I'm excited to talk about it with you and get it launched in Hawaii.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's just dive right in and you can start telling us about this awesome program. What is it about?
Okay. So the VA renovation loan is also known as the VA rehab loan. So it's a home loan that allows our veterans to purchase a home and make some repairs or renovations or upgrade the appliances on the home at the same time in the same home loan. So it's really neat if we've got a family moving to Oahu for the military, or just moving into another property and using their VA benefit. They can actually buy a house and fix it and make it nice, give it a little TLC, and then we'll help to provide the financing for those improvements.
Yeah, that's great because, I do notice a lot of homes in Hawaii need, a little bit of love on some, areas here and there. So this is a great program. So how does it exactly work? They get a loan as usual. And then
so the way that it works, it can be used for either a purchase or a refinance. So you can use it to improve a property that you already own or a property that you would like to purchase. So how we like to do it is we like to first get a licensed contractor to help you with this. Okay, so that's number one, is you're going to choose a licensed contractor to work with you, and then you're going to both go over to the home and decide what it is that needs to be improved, and then you're going to create a bid. Okay, so on the VA renovation loan, you can do improvements up to $50,000 worth of improvements. And then the renovation costs would be in addition to that. So that's what we can actually cover with the VA rehab loan. So you could do up to $50,000 and you create a bid, and then you would give the bid to us. And then we would also work with the contractor that you chose to create a contractor packet. So basically we get them approved. We make sure that they, have done this before, that they know what they're doing, that that they're honest is another thing. And so we say, and we okay the contractor, and then we apply for the VA loan. We add that bid on top of it. So it's a 0% down payment loan, the VA loan. So this would be in addition to the amount to buy the property or to pay off the mortgage, would be the renovation costs. And then we close like normal. We would order an appraisal. The appraisal is a as completed value, which means after the renovations, how much is that house worth? Okay, so that is done by a VA appraisal. And once we get the appraisal back, we send that in with your loan packet to a VA underwriter, and they would approve the loan, and then we would fund, and then you have your house, and then you have this additional money. That money is kept in a escrow account for you, and then the contractor would go and they would begin the repairs. And then as they're done completing the repairs, we would send an inspector out there to approve that the repairs have happened. We do 3 different inspections in general, and then we would give the money out 3 different times.
Awesome. Yeah.
Until it's finally done. Yeah. So I also wanted to mention that this loan could also be used for the purchase of appliances to upgrade your appliances.
Okay. That's good to know because, sometimes that's all a house needs, a couple new appliances, dishwashers, washing machines, and you're ready to go. So that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get back to a question about the contractors. Like a lot of people do get PCSed here to Hawaii, and of course they don't know anything about the island or don't know anyone to contact for contractors. Do you guys have names of people that you can suggest that these veteran people can contact, or is there a list that the VA approves?
There is not a list that the VA approves. I would recommend that actually you, Sandy, help them to find a good contractor we have, I think that's a nice service that you could provide for them, because you do know who's available, who you like to work with, to do your bids. I could give also a couple of names out, and I suggest doing a Google search and reading the reviews out there, and talking to people, maybe in the PCS office to get some good recommendations. But that search is really, I think it's very, very important. In Hawaii, there are not as many licensed contractors. So I don't think it would be too difficult to maybe get, 3 to 5 bids, and then 3 to 5 recommendations, and then get some bids from there.
Yeah, great answer, because I know the VA is very, very strict on some things about, approving certain appraisers and stuff. So that's why I wanted to ask that question, but that's a great answer. Thank you.
Yeah. One of the beautiful things about the VA rehab loan is, compared to the other types of loans, is the other types of renovation loans is you don't need to have a consultant. So with the FHA loan, you need a consultant overseeing the project, which on Oahu, there's only 4 consultants really to help. So it's, you're often standing in line, and on the regular Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac home style, you also need a consultant, which incurs additional costs, additional permissions, additional scrutiny. So I really like the VA renovation loan for the fact that it's just you, the licensed contractor, and the lender. So I really like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Another question that I have is, what if the contractor comes back with a bid that's greater than the 50,000 that you mentioned, that there's a cap on it, right?
Right. So the cap is 50,000. So if the bid comes in at 75,000, it's really the veteran's job to sit down with their contractor and the lender and with you, Sandy, and decide what's important. If what's important to renovate, what's important, is there a way that we could remove something from that bid, and still make that home livable, still make that home safe, and hazard free. If you've got a $15,000 refrigerator in there, maybe we could go with, one that's less expensive, that still, provides the same function. So we really want to take a look at that bid and decide, well, what are these costs?
Sure.
They're adding up past 50,000, and decide where, which ones we can save for later, really.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good point. Another question is that, since we are on an island here in Hawaii, as you know, sometimes the contractor has to say, well, we have to import all the materials in from the mainland. It's going to take, so and so weeks, and it could be delayed because of, still COVID delays and stuff like that. Is there a timeline on when the veteran has to complete these renovations by?
Yes, so it's 120 days. So in Hawaii, you're right. We've got a lot of time constrictions and things of that nature. So maybe replacing windows is not something that we would put onto the renovation rehab bid, because it might take 6 months to get windows over there, or the screens might take a little bit longer because they need to be made. So those types of things might take a little bit longer. But maybe if we're replacing the flooring, or we're doing things like that, where we actually have the materials, and we know the timeline, and we know we can make the 120-day timeline, then those would be the types of renovations that we would be listing on the bid itself.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that, you have to you are limited to, sometimes you have to pick the materials that are on the island, because I've had personal experience with this myself. I moved into a small townhouse, and I wanted to replace the flooring, but I had to order it, and then it was delayed, and it took, months. So that's not going to work. So for anybody out there, there are a lot of flooring companies and stuff out there that do have material here on the island. So those are the things that maybe you could choose from to shorten that time period.
And that's something that contractors are very familiar with, especially during, COVID, and we're coming out of COVID now, and we're starting to have some easing of those supply chain issues. But the contractors are very aware and can give really good advice about what is possible in 120 days.
Sure.
And it's $50,000. So, it's I think that is a good amount of money in order to really choose what's important to you, and then maybe defer on the items, the big items for later. So I think that think you and the home buyer and the contractor can really get to how to spend that $50,000 the best way.
Sure, sure. Okay, another question is, are there any income or asset restrictions that's related to this loan? Like, for instance, if the veteran already has a certain amount, then you can't get this loan, or?
So with the VA, what's important to the VA is a factor called residual income. So they have the normal requirements of, well, your debt ratio needs to be below 50% on the loan, but they also make some exceptions. So let's just say that you're buying a home and your debt ratio is above 50%. If you have enough residual income, which depending on your family size is going to be somewhere between $600 to $2,000, $3,000. If you have enough money left over, they will make allowances to approve debt ratios that are above the normal set guideline. So their income restriction is not so much you could have a maximum income. It's more like you can have a minimum amount of income. They want to make sure that you have enough money to pay for your food and your gas and your utilities and those types of things. Now, as far as asset picture goes for the VA, they just require that you have enough money to close the purchase transaction and about 2 months in reserves to get an approval. The more assets that you have to the VA, that demonstrates responsibility in savings and credit. So they are more likely to approve a loan if you have a larger asset picture.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. One important question that I forgot to ask was, is this loan only for primary residences, or if somebody already has, let's say a veteran family already has a house on the mainland, how does that work?
So this loan is for primary residences only. It is not for previously occupied VA residences.
Got it.
It's currently living in the house, not used to live in the house, but renting it out.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Anything else that we should know about this loan?
I think what's important in Hawaii is understanding that the VA loan is one of the most powerful loan tools that we have in Hawaii to purchase a home. At PRMG, we have a maximum loan size case by case of $2 million. So you're not limited by the conventional or the FHA or the government loan size restrictions. And with a 0% down payment, you really are the strongest buyer in the marketplace. So I think that, so that's one tool. And then also I think that for our incoming veterans that are coming into Hawaii, and they see the housing market, and I think that it's such a useful tool just so that they can get in and make the house their home. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful loan product that we're offering to our veterans, just to thank them for their service.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, because I do notice, like I said at the beginning of the video, we have enough homes in Hawaii, but it just needs some work in some spaces, like just simple, like replacing the carpet, or just a paint job even, and that really makes a world of difference. So
yeah.
Awesome. So if you guys are watching have any other questions or specific questions that you want to ask 𝗦𝗢𝗧 about this particular loan, or any other loan for that matter, I'm going to put her contact information up here right above her photo, so you can contact her. And once again, 𝗦𝗢𝗧, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
And the best way to get a hold of me is just to call me directly. My phone number is 808-727-0518. I'm always available. I'll call you back, and I would love to hear from you.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time and explaining this awesome program. And hopefully a lot of veterans can take advantage of this.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Sandy. Have
Anytime, 𝗦𝗢𝗧. Thanks a lot. And keep us posted on any other programs that you're great.
I will. Okay? I will. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Take care.